When you think about two lovable guys that can kill you in an instant, you think Derrick Lewis and Christian Wilkins. Derrick Lewis is 6'3" and easily walks around at over 270 pounds, while Christian Wilkins is 6'4" and well over 300 pounds. Two guys that have made a name for themselves not only in their respective sports, but with their fun personalities as well. We knew Wilkins was special from the moment he got drafted into the NFL and decided to shoulder bump Commissioner Roger Goodell on stage. Since then, Christian has been making us laugh even more with his comedic personality and viral clips of him mic'd up on the field. Although he was always a funny character, Derrick Lewis really captured the hearts of even the casual MMA fans in his UFC 229 post-fight speech, telling Joe Rogan his balls were hot while taking off his shorts in the middle of the octagon. Both gentlemen thrive in their sports as Christian Wilkins continues to terrorize opposing offensive linemen, and Derrick Lewis continues to be one of the most dangerous heavyweights on the planet. Although terrifying, these guys are like two big teddy bears that you just want to hug sometimes.
How about the face of the UFC? Which NFL player can compare to Conor McGregor's aura? Conor has always been the face of the UFC. How about for the NFL? Odell Beckham Jr. was the face of the NFL a couple years ago. Both got off to super hot starts of their careers by taking their sports by storm. Even the casual fans knew who these two were. With the flashy grabs, the style, they were all of it. Unfortunately, both fell off after they became household names in sports. Injuries didn't help either as well. Additionally, Drake is a fan and friend of both. These two embody exciting styles and have even more fun personalities.
I don't think there's any debate that Bill Belichick is the greatest coach in NFL history. And whether you think he's the GOAT or not, there's definitely no debate that Greg Jackson has been one of the best coaches in MMA history. Prior to his departure from New England, Belichick ran a tight ship on the Patriots, creating a dynasty for the better part of 20 years. Greg Jackson helped start an MMA dynasty of his own in 2007 with the creation of the Jackson Wink MMA Academy, a gym that stood as the gold standard in mixed martial arts for a number of years, much like the Patriots under Belichick. From the 2000s to the 2010s, there were few coaches, if any, more successful than Greg Jackson and Bill Belichick. Both guys have also had the privilege of coaching the GOATs of their respective sports. Greg has been Jon Jones' head coach for the bulk of his legendary run, and Bill has been Tom Brady's head coach for the majority of his great career. Both coaches have also had the privilege to work with additional legends such as Rob Gronkowski, George St. Pierre, and others. Two legendary instructors with somewhat similar paths in the coaching world.
This one hurts to make. These two are the kindest to ever do it. These two play the classiest of their respective sports and also had gold stripped from them in the final seconds. Their kindness should be celebrated, even though the world can call them cringe sometimes. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson has some of the cleanest striking in UFC history. The Karate Kid will go down as one of the best fighters to never realize the undisputed championship. He had a draw and a majority decision loss to then welterweight champion Tyron Woodley. Many believe Wonderboy won those fights. He rarely makes an error in the cage, and he's beloved, even though he faces some trolling. Not only that, he's so kind that he shakes hands with his opponents in the middle of a fight. His comparison? Russell Wilson. He almost won his second Super Bowl, but threw an interception on the 1-yard line to lose Super Bowl to Tom Brady. And man, let's not forget how kind he is, visiting children's hospitals every single week. He got completely screwed by the Broncos last year. He put up way better numbers than fan favorite Patrick Mahomes, and he still got benched over some contract nonsense.
Two of the smallest athletes on this list who strike the biggest fear into anyone that steps their way. Demetrius Johnson is 5'3", fighting at 135 pounds, and will still take your lunch money. Tyreek Hill is around 5'9", 185 pounds, and will still leave your favorite player in the smoke. Two future Hall of Famers that have already captured the highest honors in their sports with a Super Bowl and UFC championship. Aside from being small, both share nicknames containing animals, as Demetrius Johnson is known as Mighty Mouse and Tyreek is known as Cheetah. Although Tyreek is named after the fastest animal in the world, he's not the only quick one out of these two. Much like Hill, Johnson is also considered one of the fastest athletes in the history of his sport. One of the things that made Mighty Mouse a great champion was his terrifying speed, as every punch and kick was delivered in a flash. The cherry on top is the fact that these two share a deep love for video games and have put in some serious hours on Twitch streams. Tyreek Hill is known as one of the biggest gamers in the NFL, while Demetrius Johnson was easily the biggest gamer in the MMA space. It's safe to say that both of these legends are not only busting people up in the sports world, but also on the sticks.
Which player and fighter have said the most outrageous things of all time? Which player has had zero filter to a point where we worried about his brain health? We've got Tito Ortiz, who'd said some of the most incoherent lines in MMA history. From the NFL, we have the CEO of CTESPN, Antonio Brown. Both are extremely defiant when it comes to the media, world champions, and have public beef with everyone.
Although Fedor was never in the UFC, this comparison just felt too good to leave out. Christian McCaffrey and Fedor Emelianenko are two quiet killers that never needed to utter a word when striking fear into their opponents. Christian has been labeled a quiet leader since the time he was at Valor Christian High School, while Fedor has been viewed as a calm, quiet assassin since his early days at Russian Top Team. In Emelianenko's 2001 to 2009 run at Pride FC, he was easily the best heavyweight on the planet, and from 2017 to now, McCaffrey has easily been the best running back on the planet. Not only are these two of the very best in their sports, but they are also two of the most well-rounded. During his time as a number one pound-for-pound heavyweight, Fedor was arguably the most feared striker and grappler in the game simultaneously, while McCaffrey has made his name in not only the running game, but also his ability to catch the ball and pass protect as well as anyone. Two extremely well-rounded athletes at the top of their respective sports. Despite McCaffrey's various accolades such as Pro Bowls and Fedor's many victories across a number of promotions, both have yet to win the big one. McCaffrey has never won a Super Bowl, and Fedor has never captured the coveted UFC championship.
He's talked trash, he's schooled reporters when necessary, but he's always showed up to perform. He's hated by many, but he's respected by all. That's the last stylebender, Israel Adesanya. His counterpart, Richard Sherman, the Super Bowl champion and the All-Pro safety, has talked so much trash. He's had cocky celebrations, but he's backed up every single word he's spoken with. His haters hated whenever he won, but guess what? He loved that.
Jon Jones is arguably the greatest MMA fighter ever, and Lawrence Taylor was arguably the greatest football player ever. The common denominator here is two GOATs that were not able to stay out of trouble when they stepped away from the field or octagon. Over the years, it seems like it has been one thing after another for Jones and Taylor when it comes to being in trouble. Lawrence Taylor admitted to using some serious drugs as early as his second NFL season, while Jon Jones even admitted to beating Daniel Cormier in a UFC title fight after, quote, a weekend of cocaine. To no surprise, both men have failed various drug tests within their leagues and have faced severe scrutiny in the process. Two champions so dominant with the capability of putting their opponents' careers in jeopardy. Lawrence Taylor's on-field prowess led to injuring and finishing the career of quarterback Joe Theismann, while just one 25-minute fight with Jon Jones made top contender Thiago Santos never look the same again. Two icons that can party hard on a Friday and absolutely dominate you on a Saturday, whether it's on the football field or in the octagon. Well, we really hope you enjoyed some of these comparisons courtesy of Anik and myself. Be sure to like, subscribe, and if you have any comparisons of your own, feel free to let us know in the comments section below.